G'day again. Today's job is to work on the extra water intake that I've been planning on putting in. This is in addition to being able to fill the tank directly from the hose, having a mains pressure inlet, so that if we're at a campground or even here at home, if we want to have water plumbed into the van and just have it on, we can do that and bypass the pump. So I've got most of what I need for that. There are some fittings that I still need, but I want to get started on the job, see how it goes, and whether there's anything else that I've not thought of that I need before I make a trip to Bunnings again. So I guess I'll just get on with it, and we'll see how it goes. So the plan is to install this input in the panel here. The floor level of the van is there, so I've got to be below that, otherwise I'm in the bathroom. Could share that hole. Yeah, that could work. My pipe will line up and pass through that same hole. Means not drilling another hole in the van, which would be good. Let's put it back on and get a drill. Let's go and see how it lines up. Should get what we need out of that. Before I put thread tape on there, I'm just going to put it back on the van and make sure that's all going to work okay. So that's how it's going to look from the outside. Reasonably not in your face. And then pretty happy with the way that's ended up lining up. Alright, so we will deburr this end of this pipe. Just using PEX like the rest of the plumbing in the van. Let's bring this pipe over the top of the chassis with the other one. feels like it went on. Okay, so now I'm just working out where I've got to tee this pipe in. So this one here is the one that I've just added, and I need to tee it into the pressure side of the water pump. Could be a little bit tricky. So that's the cold feed to the kitchen there. Oh, this has probably got pressure in it. Yep. Okay, so adding a tee. Nope, it's on. All right. So that's connected. But if I were to connect a hose now over the other side, it would backflow through the pump and fill the tank. So I need to add a backflow preventer. Okay, I think it's time for a coffee. Okay, so this is a backflow preventer. I'm going to put that in to stop the system from filling the fresh tank when it's plugged into mains water. Okay, so pretty happy with how it's going so far. I've got this ready to go in now. A few other fittings, some tees and things, just to kind of make it all work. Let's cut in a tee. This is the feed side for the hot water for the kitchen. So I am here.
Can you come and chop some sourdough for Jess when you've got a second?
Yeah. Is she desperately hungry?
Well, yeah, you didn't have breakfast, did you? She's only had bananas today.
Okay, that makes sense. Sounds like I have to go and do a thing. I'll be back. So I really want to get the backflow preventer in here on the pressure side of the pump. I don't really want it on the vacuum side. Not sure whether it would work on the vacuum side. I think it's best here. So I'll try and get this apart, see if I can get it to fit in there. That got it. Not happy. It's not, that cut isn't square. And experience tells me if the cut's not square, it's more likely to leak. So as difficult as it's going to be, I'm going to have to take that out. I've got a feeling that this joint has been leaking. I can see evidence that it's been leaking, so not a terrible idea that I take it apart and sort it out. That way, fix two issues in one go. Convinced that went in. It might have, but just didn't. There we go. That went in. Okay. Alright, so that's the backflow preventer installed. So now I just need to do this feed to fill the fresh tank. That's the feed to the ball valve. So this is the feed that comes through from the tank. So I'm thinking that I could possibly cut a T in at this point, join it in over the top of the chassis. That would minimise the number of joins. You have to be careful not to cut. So that's the diesel line that goes to the diesel heater, so obviously I don't want to damage that. Possibly get a bit of water out of here when I cut it. I'm laughing because the neighbour's little child wants to wee outside and Mum is saying, no, you're not weeing outside, you're a girl. I should be deburring this, but I'm also trying to minimise the amount of water I wear. This will only be under pressure when it's actually filling the tank, so I think it's probably okay not to worry about deburring. The argument about weeing outside is still going on. Okay, I think that's in. Yep. Well, I've pressurised the system and I don't see any leaks. Now, if I do this, so that's now taking water out of the tank and pumping it back into the tank. Probably a bit of air in the system which needs bleeding out. So no water leaking out anywhere that I can see. So I do need to buy some fittings for the actual inlet to be able to connect the hose up to it from mains. Okay, so I've figured out the bits and pieces that I need from Bunnings to get to finish the job off, so headed for Bunnings. Yes, the sign's telling me to slow down. No, it's not a school day, so no, I don't have to slow down. People who take up the long parks with short vehicles first stop, the plumbing aisle for a shark bite 16mm PEX elbow. Should be the one I want right there. Definitely PEX, 16mm elbow. Alright. Success. Got all the things I needed. Time to head home. What do you reckon? Should I get a rack to go on the back of the van so I can mount my motorbike on the back? It's a lot of weight to add. I think I'm done for today, so I'll finish it off tomorrow. Okay, Saturday morning. Got some drinking water hose. I'm going to replace this one that I've been using for filling the tanks. I'll cut this hose and this new hose in half, put the fittings on it so that one half I'll use for mains pressure feed and the other one will be for filling the tanks directly. So yeah, into it. That one will pretty much stay on the filter the whole time. Be good to have a slightly longer hose for this. Occasionally the length of our hose has been an issue. So the theory is that take this off here and put that in there, plug that into there and that into there, and turn this on. We should pressurise the system in the van and hopefully not get any leaks. So far so good. It's all dry underneath. Now theoretically, if I open this valve here, it will fill the water tank. And lots of air flowing through. Cool. Alright, so the water tank is filling. And there we go. The overflow is now beginning to overflow. So that works. Close that. Oh. Okay, let's see if we have water flowing in here. That's the water pump, which is off. It's cold. It's hot. Or at least it would be hot if the hot water system was on. So that's that job done. It's all working as intended. So the only other thing I need to do is turn the water pump on, disconnect the water feed from the mains, turn the water pump on and make sure that that's all working correctly. So let's do that. So when we turn the water pump on, nothing should come out of here because this has got a backflow preventer in it. Water pump's on. And the system is pressurized. And nothing has come out of here. So I thought I'd just make it clear how this system works now, now that we've made the changes. So what we've done is we've added the input here on the side, which is plumbed from here across to the other side of the van. So the input is over there, comes across the top of the chassis and feeds into this T here, and then we've added this non-return valve here, stops the backflow when the system's pressurized, stops it from pushing water back through the pump and into the tank. Backflow preventer is teed in to a new T there, and then we've added another T here which is on the pressure side from the tank. It's actually on the feed to the hot water system, but it could basically be anywhere on the pressure side, with a ball valve, and that ball valve is then teed back into the vacuum side of the pump, the feed that comes from the tank, so that when you open this ball valve, the water from the pressured side is able to flow through that pipe, and it will flow back in and fill the tank. So that's what we've added. Hope that's clear. Any questions or comments, chuck them in the comments down below. Okay, well that's the end of that project. Pretty happy with the result of that, and yeah, it's just going to give us a bit more flexibility with the water and how it works. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining us, and as always, be kind. See you next time. See ya.